Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to episode 154 of a Battered and Bruised Retro Gamers podcast. Larry here.
And a Mario here.
As you can see, I've replaced one Italian with another. Mario is here this week. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that exercise in puppetry has quickly failed.
Yeah,
Look who's back, though.
That's the best I can do.
But that was a fun reveal, actually. Like, oh, look who it is, actually.
Yes.
Welcome back. What's going on, Ant? How you feeling?
I'm feeling weird. It's probably the best way to do it. But when you've been gutted by Ghostface for Halloween,
There you go.
Kind of happens. No, everything's going well. So for those who don't know, I'm currently recovering from hernia surgery. And that's just not fun.
No,
At all.
I was like 7 when I had mine. I still don't know how I got the hernia, but be that as it may. Yeah, it's a bit of a recovery process, but and I'm sure your cats have been helping tremendously.
Oh yeah, no, they've been great. Let's see, I was home for I think an hour before one of them ran over me, and I had to kick them out of my room and lock them out at night.
Oh, don't! Oh
Yes.
man.
But outside of that, the cats have been when I'm conscious, the cats have been very nice. They've been kind of just hanging with me, which is good because it gets boring being at home every day doing nothing.
Yeah, well, I can only imagine. Though I wish I could.
Well,
Stay home,
it's funny
do
too.
nothing
We do wish these things, and then when they actually happen, it's kind of not everything it's cracked up to be. Although, I will say that I've definitely been gaming a lot more. I think there was one day last week where I played for like 12 or 13 hours.
Nice. There you go. I haven't done that in a long time.
I know,
Holy cow.
same here. I was like, wow. I go, granted, I couldn't really get out of my bed, so there wasn't much else to do. It was basically that and Netflix. And of course, I don't sleep very much. So, I mean, even 12 or 13 hours of gaming, I'm like, I still spent plenty of time watching TV as well.
Okay.
But no, I mean, it was, recuperating nicely, and all things considered, it's only been a little over a week, and I'm up and about, and and all good, and
Good.
yeah. I ultimately I can't complain, except I gotta go back to work now.
Yeah, that's the complaint. No, it's all good.
Yes.
Well, glad to have you back. Glad you're feeling better. And
Happy to be back.
Yes, totally. And of course, thank you to Anthony Chu, the host of the Yin and the Yang podcast last week, for filling in.
Yes, thank you very much, Anthony. And it was a fantastic episode, by the way, celebrating Nintendo's 130th. Always a good thing. Let's hope for 130 more, and let's hope we're here for that.
I'm gonna venture to guess we won't, but we'll try. We will certainly try.
Stranger things have happened.
Do you know something I don't know?
No comment.
While you're in the hospital.
They gave me a magic elixir.
There you go, like the super serum. So gaming wise, so what did you play? Like what games did you? I mean, I'm assuming first of all, Dead by Daylight was probably majority of what you played.
Yeah, no, I played a lot of Dead by Daylight with some friends. I mean, that was basically what was keeping me sane because I can actually, I was being social, so to speak.
There you go.
So a lot of Dead by Daylight, and then I started chipping away at Spider-Man on PS4.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been working on that one for a while, and I have to say, again, I know we're retro gamers, we talk current gaming too. But if you haven't played Spider-Man on PS4 and you have a PS4, you're missing out on probably one of the best games on the console, hands down. There's no question about
I gotta get that.
I'll put it to you this way, because Larry, I mean, you live in New York. I grew up in New York. You're literally traveling through Manhattan, but
Okay.
it's like building accurate. Like you can go all the way down. Yep. You can go all the way down to Battery Park and go all the way up to Harlem, and it's just the streets are laid out the way you expect them. You go to Times Square, it's exactly what Times Square looks like.
That is just like the first, The Division. The first one took place in New York City, and it was, I mean, you're right, like block for block, representation of New York to the point where like the main hub in the division is the big US post office across the street from MSG.
Oh yeah,
And that's the main hub. The first level is Madison Square Garden.
nice.
And you're going through the garden and then you're going to different areas in the city. So I play that, and one of the levels, one of the bosses was in Times Square. The part where they have like all the rows of seats or whatever, like by I think like on Broadway,
Hmm.
um, the theater district.
Yeah.
For those of you, yeah. So and those of you outside of New York, the only show that I know that had that was an episode of Glee when they went to New York for the first time. But so I do that level. And then I go to the city, like, oh, like a month or two later, just happened to be in New York City. And I walk through that and I got like this chill. I'm like, why does this look familiar? I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, I played this level.
Yeah. Yeah, and they
So,
have and they have that in the Spider-Man game too, which is really
mhm.
cool. And then, but the great thing about the game, I know the game's been out for over a year, and I'm sure a lot of people have played it. But the whole idea is like you really feel like you're playing as Spider-Man in terms of like the game mechanics are great, the way he web swings is great, like
That's what
everything,
everyone was
his
saying.
interactions are great. But also the mission wise, like there's the main story mode you go through, and then there are all
Hmm.
these little side missions through the city. So you're just like swinging through Manhattan, and all of a sudden you get a report on the police scanner that there's some crime happening, and you can choose to just
Oh,
go stop it, or you can just
that's interesting.
continue on and do what you want.
Oh, that's
Um,
interesting.
yeah, so it
Hmm.
like it gives you that whole sense of like, oh, you get to choose. It's like, do I want to
Yeah.
do this? Do I want to just wander around and collect things? Like, because there are different things you can do, like take pictures of specific landmarks to get
Okay.
skill, and basically you collect all these points so you can build up your gadgets and unlock new suits and stuff.
Gotcha.
It just, yeah, they really put a lot of care into it. So I was
All
very
right.
yeah, I've been very pleased with it, and I've been playing it for a while, just little bits at a
Hmm.
time. But now, like I've done like a whole chunk. I think I'm like 60% through
Oh, sweet.
now.
Okay.
Yeah, so that took up a lot. That took up a good chunk of my time. Super Smash Brothers
Oh,
on
you've been playing that?
Switch.
Cool.
Yeah, not only am I playing it, I'm actually liking it now.
Oh, good.
Because like when I first got it, I started playing it, and I wasn't thrilled because I'm not very comfortable with the combat mechanism with
Yeah, it's a little.
Smash.
It's always been weird. That's why I never was crazy about it for a long time.
Yeah, so a friend of mine who was basically babysitting me for the first day. Um, he's a big Smash player, so he kind of showed me like little tricks and stuff like
Mhm.
that, and then like really started going through adventure mode with it, and
Okay.
now I'm perfectly happy playing it. So
You unlock a lot of characters.
yeah, for adventure mode, I think I've unlocked all but one.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty much at the end of it,
Wow.
um,
Okay. Cool.
which is good. Well, again, had a lot
No, no,
of.
you got the time. Did you get? You did, try that again. Did you get the DLC?
Yes, I do have the
Okay.
DLC for it.
Cool.
So I have what did they just release? Banjo and Kazooie.
Banjo and
Banjo
Kazooie. Yep.
Kazooie. Sorry.
Yep.
So downloaded that. So that's been really fun. And then the last one, I think, the last one I've been working on, I just went back to it a couple of days ago, is Hollow Knight and I have it on Switch. I
I
don't know if
got, yeah, you've talked about it. A couple of my friends have talked about it. I gotta play this game apparently because this game sounds awesome.
Yeah, no, it's a Metroidvania style game.
Mhm.
It's beautifully the graphics are absolutely stunning. It's like it's got that it's 2D cell shaded kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
graphics, but absolutely gorgeous. Only it was a Kickstarter game that only it was made by 3 people, and when you go through the game and you realize how deep the game is, like when I beat the game. I think I only uncovered, I think, like 50% of what was in there. And now that I've
Okay.
gone back through it, I'm at like 90%. And God, I'm
Oh
so
wow.
happy I went back through it because there were so many things I missed that I didn't even realize were there. And
Mhm.
just the overall experience of the game, it's so satisfying. It's probably one of the best games I've played this year for sure.
All right. Awesome.
So can't recommend it enough. And it's on every platform. So PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch. If you don't have it, I highly recommend you pick it up. It's worth every penny. And they're actually coming out with an not necessarily a sequel, but a spin-off for one of the other
Okay.
characters you encounter in the game. Uh,
Okay.
so looking forward to that as well. It just,
Awesome.
yeah, absolutely excellent.
Did you complete Link's Awakening?
No, I did not complete Weeks.
No.
I did not complete Link's Awakening because my goal was to live stream the entire run through.
Exactly.
And this is my first time that I've been able to. Well, actually, yesterday was the first day I was able to sit at my computer desk for
Oh,
an
okay.
extended period of time.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of getting back into the swing of things. And I didn't want to start live streaming if like 15 minutes later I wasn't going to be able to sit here and do it.
That's true. That's true. You get
Yeah.
to like
So, but
three screens and
also,
then you're done.
yeah. But then the other thing, I just picked up a new router for my house because I realized my other router is 4 years old and probably not working as well as my internet speed. That
Okay.
I may be able to do it more comfortably from Grand Central over there in my recliner as
Gotcha.
opposed to at my
Gotcha.
computer desk. So I'm gonna try giving that a go, and if I can do that, I'm just gonna stream all the time.
Okay, fair enough. Cool.
So,
You'll be a permanent fixture into your living room.
yeah, exactly. I'll
Um,
be torturing people with my presence.
so I beat Link's Awakening. I did it, basically I did it that weekend, only because to be fair, I've played it before, so I
Hmm.
knew a lot of it. I'm just gonna say this: gorgeous. The game, the opening credits, and then the what eventually are the end credits are just beautiful to watch. The animation was amazing. The ending was, yeah, it's the same as it was on the Game Boy, but for someone like me who was very, very skeptical of the presentation of this game when they first released it, top to bottom, fantastic, worth every penny of it. And as soon as I was done with Link's Awakening, I'm like, on the Switch, I'm like, I got to go back and I got to start playing Zelda games that I haven't beaten yet on handheld systems, which is a
Okay.
lot of them. So I immediately dusted off my Oracle of Seasons because there
Nice.
were two games on the Game Boy Color, Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages. Kind of almost like whenever a game comes out, there's two of them.
Hmm.
They released two of these. Actually, Anthony played Oracle of Ages, I think, for a minute or two.
Yeah, for a minute
Uh,
or two. And actually, when I'm done with Link's Awakening, I plan on going back to that. We should,
like,
we should try dual live streaming. You do one, I do the other at the same time
I
with
was,
like a split
I
screen.
was think, trust me, I was thinking about it because then remember when you're done with that game, then you can import all your stuff
Yeah,
to the other game, and you basically continue the story.
yeah, which is cool.
Um, because I have Oracle of Ages on the Virtual Console on the 3DS.
Hmm.
So that I busted out Oracle of Seasons, busted out my Game Boy Advance SP, started playing. Then I'm like, I got a Game Boy player on the GameCube because these are strictly Game Boy Color games, so they won't play on the Super Game Boy.
Hmm.
Um, and I know, you got the Retro Freak, but you put them into the Game Boy player, you can actually use a Game Boy Advance or a Game Boy Advance SP as a controller
Hmm.
when you use the Game Boy player. So it's more natural, I guess.
Okay.
And then you get like the borders and everything. So I broke out my GameCube, got the Game Boy player hooked up, and I spent about an hour and a half looking for the Game Boy player boot up disc that you need,
Hmm.
which I know I had because I had it when I was down in the downstairs apartment. And then when I moved upstairs, I don't know where it went. I tore everything apart. So, long story short, I had to go out and buy basically a new Game Boy player because they're not going to sell one without the other.
Right.
Or at least I don't trust it because I don't really trust buying stuff on eBay when it comes to games. It's just me. So now I have two Game Boy players. So if anybody needs a Game Boy player, just the Game Boy player, feel free to DM me. We'll talk.
Hmm.
But I spent all that money, got the boot up disc, but I was happy because now I'm playing Game Boy Oracle of Seasons on the television. Now to piggyback on that, I'm like, oh, now I need an HDMI cable for the GameCube. So I went out, but all of this happening just for a little old Game Boy Color. And now my GameCube is a giant glorified Game Boy because all my GameCube games I play on the Wii. So
All right,
it
but
was,
hey, look, you
whew,
accomplished something.
I
That
did. And
it's amazing how much work goes into these things when you're like, oh, hey, let's just do this one little thing, and then like
honestly,
12 hours later, and like four trips to the store, and you're like, oh, done.
I
And then
was
you're like,
perfect.
well, now I don't feel like playing.
Oh no, that yeah, that's me to a T. And I
Yeah.
was totally content and sitting there just playing on the Game Boy SP Game Boy Advance SP. I'm like, this is cool. It works. It's backlit. It's color. It's gorgeous. It's my SpongeBob one that I have only because it's backlit properly. I'm like, this is fine. But then I glanced over to my GameCube that I don't use. I'm like, I can get some use out of that. And then here I am. And 4 days later and a lot of money later,
Yeah.
now Game Boy Color game looks fantastic on a 4K television.
Hey, you know what? I mean, look, I mean and that's okay.
True. So I got that. I'll play when I'm done with that. I'll get to Oracle of Ages. Another Zelda game because I was talking to some of my friends at work. It was like 5 or 6 of us had gotten Link's Awakening on Switch basically when it dropped.
Mm-hmm.
And it was weird. Like all of us kind of progressed through it at the same time and then eventually beat it the same weekend. It's
Nice.
not like we're hanging out playing together, just we all did it individually.
Right.
But also everyone said, which I don't know if you've ever played it, but you have the Retro Freak, go out and get it, or it may be you have a Wii U. I keep forgetting.
I have a Wii U.
Okay, it may be on the Wii U Virtual Console because there are Game Boy Advance games on the Wii U Virtual Console.
Mm-hmm.
Get Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap. I don't know if you have it already.
Yes. Yeah. My goal ultimately is to just buy all the original ones anyway. So.
Oh no, totally. But this one it was on Game Boy Advance. The game is amazing. It doesn't really fit into the normal lore of Zelda games,
Mm-hmm.
but it's basically and it's almost like the origin of Cappy from Super Mario Odyssey because it's Zelda. Your hat basically talks to you. It's like a living being. And the idea is you're shrunk down. So then like most of the bosses are just regular villains in the game.
Okay.
So because they're larger. So but it's a great, fantastic. I'm going to go back and probably play through that when I'm done with the other two. So definitely something to check out.
Cool.
And that's basically what I was playing. I was playing Link's Awakening. I picked up Blazing Chrome. Which is an awesome Contra clone or an homage.
Okay.
To fantastic. And I got to say, better, in my opinion, than Contra Rogue Core, which is an actual brand new Contra game on the home consoles, which I'm not happy about. But everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But I'm not crazy about it. So
right.
so I'll definitely play
Look,
Blazing Chrome.
not every game is tailored to everybody, so it's okay if it doesn't work for you. There was another game I actually purchased on the Switch. If you like puzzle games, there's a cool little puzzle game on there called Membrane. It is currently on sale. If it is still on sale, for 9 cents.
Yes, that's why I got it. Very cheap. So, but
yeah,
very
and you know what? I'll be
weird.
honest with you. It's kind of I played through like the first level basically, and it's kind of cool. If you like I said, if you like puzzle games, it's just worth playing through. Very simple, simple independent game, but fun.
No, totally. That's cool. Yeah, I definitely got that game. And then I think there was one more I picked up. I can't remember. I picked up a couple like arcade games, like Double Dragon 2, the arcade game, stuff like that. So, but definitely the Switch is getting a lot of love. Lo and behold, shocking. But
yes, Dead by Daylight's out on the Switch, Larry. By the way, hint, hint.
I saw. Did you get it on the Switch?
No, I didn't yet.
Okay, yet. There we go. But we can play it on the road then, because I do have it on PlayStation.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, remember? I got it, then we played it for like a minute.
Oh, that's right, we did, and then you were just like, all right,
Yeah. But this is a good thing to mention as well, because I don't know how much time before you may just kind of fall out of your chair from recent surgery.
It's already starting.
Yeah, so I do want to just kind of jump in, but it's a good point to jump into. New York Comic Con. New York Comic Con 2019. Actually, when we record, today's the last day, and our good friend Frankie actually gave me a Sunday ticket. He was like, "I'm not using it. You can go." I'm like, "Okay." Like in the 37 seconds I had to see him at New York Comic Con. So very gracious that he gave that to me. Grateful. But I even told him like, I don't. Yeah. See, that's why I missed you last week. Because Chew just kind of, I think me and him are on the same wavelength as far as wording. So I'm like, I don't know, like a 50% chance I'll show up on Sunday. He's like, oh, don't worry about it, just take it. I'm like, all right, whatever. Because now that's like a 20% chance I'm going today. But thank you, Frankie, and it was great to see Frankie and Verdi and all them at New York Comic Con. But there were more I mean, it wasn't like an E3, but there was definitely more games represented at New York Comic Con this year than
Hmm.
in past years. Not only booths, you mean like like Capcom, Namco Bandai. I think there may have been one more. I can't remember. A couple of indies, a couple of independents were
Okay.
there. Some new zombie game that's coming out. I have a picture of it and a little bit of a video. We may, we'll put a little, well, Anthony will probably put a little something together to at the tail end of this one. But I also saw more vendors, just like a Game On. They weren't there, but
Right.
vendors, Gotham City Gaming, Video Games New York, 8-bits. I can't remember all their names, but there were more there than usual, which was
Okay.
very cool. A lot of good games, just a lot of regular stuff, a lot of run of the mill stuff. But I saw some interesting like Popeye in box, Turtles 2 in box.
Wow.
Yeah, someone had, I don't remember the list of games, but there was a bunch of Saturn games and everything. So it was really cool to see these vendors there. Um,
Did you?
me
Oh,
again,
while you were
yeah.
there, did you see Heritage Auctions there? They were the ones that were in at San Diego. Remember with the
Hmm.
the case games that were like 5 grand and stuff like
Oh, yeah.
that.
I did not see them. To be fair, I could have walked past them, may have missed it, but I'm pretty sure I would have seen something like that. The
Okay.
only booth I saw that I thought was like that, I thought was them, was just a company because they had like some graded games and stuff.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh, how much? Like they had a WrestleMania. The grade was like 8.6.
Okay.
WrestleMania on NES. And I'm like, oh, well, how much is it? They're like, not for sale. I'm like, oh, okay. So I figured maybe it was an auction. So I'm like, all right. So I think they had a Mike Tyson's Punch Out. And I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, how much? Just curious. How much is that? They're like, not for sale. Then I'm like, what's for sale? Turns out they just sell the boxes, the
Oh.
clear plastic boxes that you would put the game in, or yeah, it was weird.
Okay.
Because then I'm like, how much for the black and white Daryl Dixon pop vinyl? So, but no, I didn't see them there. But there was more of a company like that at Long Island Retro Expo
Oh,
that
okay.
was selling graded games. The most expensive thing I saw was a Freddie Funko pop vinyl, which is like the mascot of
Yeah.
Funko. $2,500. That was interesting
Why? Why?
because it's not that readily available. They had a Universal Monsters pop vinyls. I know we're gonna get a
Ooh,
little off the page, but it's New York Comic Con, so
I like that.
yeah, no, me too. And there were it was four of them, so it would be what Dracula, Frankenstein,
The Mummy
the
and
the
Wolfman.
Mummy. Oh, and then maybe those five of them. Wolfman, and wasn't it like the Black Lagoon?
Yeah, Creature from the Black Lagoon. Yeah.
All right, so maybe there's five of them. It was either four or five. I don't remember.
Hmm.
Black and white, and I like that's kind of like my new thing now is collecting black and white pops. It's pretty
Okay.
cool. That went for $650, so I promptly kept moving.
I would too.
Which is nice. And that's the other thing, like buying a pop vinyl from a regular vendor, they definitely jack the prices. Probably except for today. Today's everything's going to be on sale. Sunday from when we record because they don't want to leave it anything. The Funko booth itself, thank goodness I did not win a ticket to get on that line to wait 2 hours to maybe buy a pop vinyl that may be still available because it could
Uh-huh.
sell out.
Oh,
I waited. Yeah.
that's fun.
So, and they had some cool exclusives there. They had like what I was looking for, Blunt Man and Chronic from Jay and Silent Bob reboot. They
Nice.
got that. Marty McFly in the hazmat suit from Back to the Future.
Oh, that's really cool.
My name is Darth Vader from the planet Vulcan. And had a hair dryer in his pocket, which was not available in 1955, which confused a lot of people. Um, and then some other ones. Oh, one of the clowns from Killer Clowns from Outer Space
Nice.
is a pop vinyl. So a bunch of stuff like that. But yeah, I was not winning on that line. It was just massive. And then there was another booth that was selling a new The Rock pop vinyl for the 20th anniversary of SmackDown, like gold.
Mm.
But again, I was like, forget it. So I didn't really wait on any lines. I wasn't doing that. Really, the only things I bought. Oh, I have it on the other side of the room, but it's all right. If you want to check out this thing I'm about to mention, because there were some things I bought, and then I'll get into some of the other booths. Um, I got a signed Sergeant Slaughter pop vinyl.
Nice.
Why he was there, so I got him signed. It's like, what does it say? At ease, Larry. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Oh, and I saw the GI Joe Championship belt
Yes.
that you posted.
Oh, bro, I was like, Just give me a number. Give me a number. I will max my cards out. So and we'll put a picture. There's a picture on the thing. So Slaughter, it's a one of one. Like they only made it for him because I don't even think Hasbro is aware that this thing is made. It's a championship belt for those who are into wrestling. It looks like the old winged eagle belt, like from the '80s, like Savage had and Hogan had. And then it says like mercenaries on the side, and over the championship itself is the GI Joe logo.
Yep.
And this thing was gorgeous. I'm like, Sarge, give me a number. I will make it happen. But he wasn't budging. I was like, all right, fine, whatever. And then I went the next day. I'm like, anything? And he didn't remember me. But so I got the pop vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
And then I spent the rest of my money on one table. Spent the rest of my money at Splitfire Labs.
And they are.
That's what I'm about to show you here in a moment. They basically do laser etching or laser cutting. They got these gorgeous wood pieces that they laser cut. You know, like there was why can't I remember the Death Star? There was like a nice Death Star setup. They have some coasters made out of wood, very nice, resin on top. There's one piece I saw that it's a three pieces, the DeLorean from Back to the Future. But when you put the three together, it's the front, the middle, and the back of the DeLorean, and then behind it is the cafe. But the back of the car is part 1, the middle of the car is part 2, and the front of the car is part 3.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so that's really cool. But I picked up 3 items. They also have like laser etched NES cartridges, again made out of wood. But actually, no, I'll show that one. I didn't buy a cartridge, but I bought something like it. But what they do is
cartridge. That sounds awesome.
You know what? The only cartridge they had was like the Mario Kart Duck Hunt combo. But don't get me wrong, it's not just the cartridge. Like they laser etch scenes from the cut scenes from the game into the car, like into the background.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so but I got this. So not only were they selling those, they were selling video NES controllers.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked up, let me see, I just gotta so I can see if this comes up on screen. Contra.
Ooh.
If you look at
that's real. Okay, that's really cool.
Not only that,
it's definitely on the screen. Yeah, I see all the detail.
That's fantastic. The back.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Damn. Okay.
Very nice.
I can see why you spent your money there.
Oh, totally. And you can order these. You can order them online. So I think they have an Etsy page. We'll put the links up and everything. So that's that. It also comes with a base. Nothing major, just the base, but it has the Contra thing on it. So. Then I got this. Then they debuted these. So they made out of wood laser etched VHS cartridges, old VHS tapes.
Oh no!
Back first, just to show how detailed. I mean, like
wow,
all of that.
Okay.
And then if you look at them,
that looks very familiar.
Oh my God, what is that? I don't even know what you're holding in your hands.
It's an original VHS tape.
And if you can read what the bottom says, you'll get a hint as to what movie it is.
Let's see. When will then be now?
My favorite. How soon, sir? What? We identified the location. I can do the whole movie right now. My favorite movie of all time, Spaceballs. Look at that.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No, I see. Yeah, I would have spent a lot of money there too.
I'm trying to think what the other movies were. I can't remember the other one.
And since you're bringing up Spaceballs and it's not video game related, did you see that meme? Not meme going around. There was an image going around of somebody had stripped down a billboard.
Oh yes, yeah.
And like they found underneath, once they got to the bottom, a Spaceballs poster from 32 years ago.
Yep, that is awesome. I really wish when they started re-releasing the Star Wars movies, I really wanted Mel Brooks to re-release Spaceballs, but with because when the Star Wars was coming out, like 30 minutes of extra footage, this, that, and the other thing, I wanted him to release it with 4 seconds of extra footage or something like that.
And you know what? Everybody would have flocked to the theater anyway.
Bro, I never saw Spaceballs in the theater.
Did I?
Waiting for them to do it on Fathom events or something.
It'll happen.
And then this is the Piece de Resistance.
Okay.
And once you see this, my friend, I think you're gonna go right to their page.
Should I bring up the page now?
You may want. Well, I'm gonna have to back this up a little bit, so forgive me here, everybody. I'll just do this, do
Oh,
that
they're
again.
like,
I'll show you the back.
how big is this thing? Okay, yeah, no. So you bought this for me. I can already tell. This is this my birthday gift?
And no offense with the price. No, I just have to turn the light as well. This is just temporarily, so forgive me.
I'm kidding. It's
No,
gonna
you're
be
gonna
what I
want.
think it is. Yep. Oh wow.
Look at that.
Oh, that is stunning. Okay, so that is the Legend of Zelda overworld map from the
Yep.
first game, etched in wood, laser cut in wood, right?
Laser cut. I know you can't hear me right now. Let me do this. Laser cut, layered because it's 3D. It's layered,
Yep.
and they got like resin for the water.
Yeah, I see that. That is
Yeah.
what? Okay, what are they called? Split fire?
Let me get it right. Hold on. The hell's their logo on this one? It's not there.
I don't know, but I need to find it. Look, I'm already looking at my phone.
No, I don't blame you. They had their logos on these things. Oh well. Oh, there it is. Split Fire Labs, New York City. So just do a search for Split Fire Labs,
Okay.
SPLIT. Oh, I'm sorry. Spitfire, Spitfire. All right, if you look up Spitfire and something else comes up, not my
Yeah,
problem.
something else came up and I don't like it.
Spitfire Labs.
Spitfire. Wait, what?
Spitfire Labs.
Got it. Okay. That okay, so
So
that is beautiful, that thing.
yeah, phenomenal. And they had like three different versions. One like where the water's blue, which is what I have. And then they had like one where the water was had like a green tint to it. I'm like, eh. And then one where the resin was a bit clearer,
Okay.
a bit more clear. I'm like, I'll take the blue. Yeah. So this is
Yep.
that's
No,
yeah.
that is
And
that is awesome.
I
Okay.
gotta figure out how to hang because I don't want to drill holes into the back of this to just hang it with a with a wire. They
That's a
say
very
you can
good
get a
point.
like a custom made frame for it. So
That might be the way to go. But still, if you get a frame for it though, don't you want it to be exposed so you can see you can actually feel
oh,
the actual laser cut?
totally.
Yeah.
The ones they had in front, like they had custom frames made. They didn't have like glass or anything on the front. It was just the border.
Just the border.
Um,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, no, that is amazing. That is a huge that
yeah.
is a yeah, that is definitely an awesome pickup.
So definitely check them out. Oh, here, hold on. I'm sorry. Just give me 2 more seconds. I'm
Sure.
not showing you anything. I just want to wrap something up.
All right. Well, while Larry does that, I'll just do absolutely nothing.
Just want to
So
protect
some
that.
good video game finds at Comic Con, which is good.
Yes.
And
Um,
it's nice that they're actually starting to. And I don't know how I mean, it's nice that they're starting to show up to regular cons. Like I saw a couple of places at San Diego, but not that many.
yeah, there
And
wasn't a lot. Don't get me wrong.
yeah, no, just a handful. But in other words, like it's a good start. Like I feel like it fits in with the rest of all the pop culture that shows up at Comic Cons. So
Hmm.
so yeah, I just think we're going to be seeing more of it as time goes on
I think so.
because word on the street, and when I say that I mean the internet, is that collectors are starting to shift over to collecting video games because it's a new medium that they can collect because
Yep.
everybody's gone the comic book route, records, whatever you want to talk about. There's so many different things people collect. Video games are now becoming part of that because they're old enough now,
Yes.
basically.
I'm just worried, like you see like a $5,000 inbox Super Mario Brothers, which is ridiculous, but look, there's collectors out there. I don't understand how a comic book can be that much money, but it's there. It's there.
No, no,
I'm just worried. I'm worried that if like those go up in price and just even the regular run of the mill loose cartridges start to go
no.
up in price.
You gotta remember, it's all in context. Like the Super Mario Brothers game, like came, most of the time it came with the Nintendo, right? The ones that are going for a lot of money are the sealed ones that were sold separately. So if
No,
you
I know. I get that.
So
Yeah.
right, but that's what I mean. It's like you gotta put it into the context of how rare it is because nobody
Hmm.
really bought Super Mario Brothers like
Yeah.
on its own. It came with the system. So the fact that anybody would have one of those, much less sealed, is incredibly rare.
Yeah.
And rarity
So
is a thing. That's just
this is
what's going
true.
to happen. Yeah, it's going to up value. Granted, yeah, it puts a damper in maybe some some regular collecting, but I don't think. in other words, for example, for you and me, I don't think we're going to be aiming for those types of purchases anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm
Especially
good.
me. I buy games. I buy games to play. I don't buy them to just. Yeah, I don't buy them to just look at least not yet.
Yeah.
So maybe.
So a couple more things real quick just to mention at New York Comic as far as games are concerned. First of all, Arcade One Up was there. The Arcade One Up booth was there with their Thanos size Marvel superheroes machine that they
Ooh.
debuted at San Diego Comic Con. Did you see it at San Diego?
No, I was at Arcade One up there. It wasn't there.
No, they had a big giant one. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Oh, well, it's huge and you got to play, but again, wait, I'm not waiting online, but it's workable. I mean, the controls are again Thanos size, so it's weird to like move this joystick and hit the buttons, but people were playing it. I got to play. Well, first of all, I got to see what they're called. Normally, they're called bar top arcades. Like it's one arcade,
Yes.
but it's like tabletop.
Hmm.
And the cocktail table arcades. Both look amazing, look gorgeous. I got to play the Final Fight machine, which was it's Final Fight 1944 Strider. Oh, and Ghouls and Ghosts or Ghosts and Goblins. Um, I mean, runs smoothly as I figured they would. It's beautiful. The cabinets look awesome. It's only a matter of time before I get one of them. I'm still debating whether it's Final Fight or the Ninja Turtles one.
Ooh.
So
It's a tough
Turtles
one.
one is,
I'm still looking at the Mortal Kombat one.
yeah, that one looked good too. That one, a lot of people were playing that one.
Yeah, the Mortal
but
Kombat one for sure.
The Turtles one is 4 players.
Yes, and that one I want that in the X-Men.
Yeah. Oh, the X-Men one looked cool too.
Yeah.
Also,
the just really quickly, before I forget, and I know for anybody who's a fan of the original Pac-Man game, the Costco currently has the Arcade One Up Pac-Man machine with the riser and a Pac-Man stool for $3.50, which is a great deal for that.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. That definitely jump on that. Couple of the game related stuff as far as booths, and both were one was Capcom. I think the other one was Capcom. I don't remember. Anyway, Project Resistance. There was this new game, Project Resistance. I'm like, what is Project Resistance? And I'm staring at the logo, and it still never jumped out at me because the RE in Resistance was red.
But
it's a new Resident Evil game.
Resident Evil. Mm-hmm.
It's basically Resident Evil meets Dead by Daylight.
Oh.
Yes. It's basically, one person plays as one person plays as not even I don't think it was like a zombie or like a nemesis or anything, but you play I can only assume like as a scientist or something, and you unleash people. I could be 100% wrong on that because I didn't see the beginning of the game. But then there's like 4 other people who play as survivors, and then that's the Dead by Daylight portion of it.
Okay.
Dead by Daylight was there showing off Stranger Things, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and playing the Stranger Things characters are really fun too.
And then there was a new Predator game that was debuted. Well, I wouldn't say debuted, but shown off. And then there was PlayStation had their VR section set up. Mm-hmm. Again, I didn't play it, but you saw the screen of people playing. You were able to see the screen.
Yep.
Iron Man VR looks amazing when it's played in real time.
I cannot wait for that. I think it's coming out in February.
I think so. And I re-hooked up. My PlayStation VR is good to go. So it's up and running. They had that. There was another VR game. I forgot what it was. But this Iron Man VR looks phenomenal. Oh, and they were showing off Marvel's The Avengers game.
Oh, yes.
One that's coming out. Yeah. That one again, when played in real time, looks awesome. And I think
it looks amazing.
A new character. I think they just announced Ms. Marvel.
Ms. Marvel's going to be in the game.
Yeah. The only thing that bugs me about that game, not the game itself, is the people. They're like, again, when it came out, oh, this isn't Avengers. This isn't like, no, it's not Robert Downey Jr. and
correct.
Chris Evans. It's the comic book Avengers.
Correct.
So that's I unfortunately I feel like that game's going to get a little bit, not enough to like cause it issues, but it's going to take a little bit of a hit for people who like, I don't recognize these characters. They don't look like the ones from on the silver screen.
Yeah, I have a feeling though that gamers are able to separate that out, so I don't think it's going to be an issue.
And then other than that, and again, we're going to show it here in a few moments. Some cool cosplay. Zelda from Majora's Mask, and he was actually walking around with like a 4-foot moon above him, which was pretty cool.
Oh, that's really cool.
various Marios. Actually, I put up a my new profile picture on my Instagram and Facebook at More365. There was a booth there selling like homemade leather hats, and they had a Mario hat, a Luigi, Wario, and Waluigi, which was pretty funny because it didn't fit my head, so that's a problem. And
Well,
then the last one, and I'm going to keep this PG, so I'm going to see how I can work around this. A I'm just gonna go straight forward. An S&M Peach and Bowser. That was weird.
oh,
Like the memes, like those
yes,
Bowser memes. Yeah,
yes, hmm,
sexy Bowser, and
yes.
yeah. So that was in the middle of the floor at New York Comic Con. So that was interesting. And so, but other than that, the cosplay was really good. I would say the popular cosplay, shockingly, not Joker from the new movie, which I thought I'd see
Okay,
more of. There were a really good handful of fat Thors, which makes me feel good.
that's awesome.
And it's always kind of the callbacks to like Harley Quinn and stuff like that. More Jared Leto Jokers still for some reason
Uh,
than Joaquin Phoenix. Maybe just I don't know. I'm not sure why, but all in all, good stuff. And I don't know, at some point we're going to break in and show that stuff from New York Comic Con. But before we do that or after, you pick, Anthony, when you do this. I know you wanted to mention one thing about an old one of one system, probably. I think that may be available for someone listening at home.
oh yes. So yeah, I just happened to run across this news this morning before we started recording. But for those of you who don't know, before Sony developed the PlayStation console, they were actually contracted by Nintendo to create a system for Nintendo, which is what became the PlayStation. What was it? The PlayStation. It was a PlayStation add-on to the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I don't
It
remember
was
the
a,
official
or a
name for it,
CD-ROM.
but yeah.
It was a CD-ROM add-on to the Super Nintendo, and that's what they were working on. And then eventually, what happened was the deal fell apart. Sony said, "Fine, we'll make our own system." They made the PlayStation. The rest is history, and I'm sure they're very happy that that's how that worked out. Um, but also, I'm sure they're also very happy that Nintendo ditched them for Philips CDI, which became a complete disaster. Um, because that's what happened.
Oh boy.
But there were some prototypes of the Super Nintendo PlayStation console that were created. One of the few owners of said prototypes, and it may be the only one. I don't know if it's the only one or if there are just like a couple of them. But the owner of the prototype, whose name is Terry Diebold, has announced that he is taking offers
Hmm.
on that console or that prototype. I can't say if it works or not. I'm assuming it does. I don't think the CD-ROM really has anything to play because they never made any games for
Yeah,
it.
that's true. Yeah.
But again, this is definitely not something I don't think you would want to use even if it was functional as a Super
Oh
Nintendo. It's
no.
more for obviously it's for a collector,
Yep.
and the fact that he's taking offers and not putting it up for auction means that he's willing. He's just wants to hear what people are willing to pay for it. So,
Oh, absolutely.
so for anybody out there who is an Uber collector and has 5 or 6 figures to spare, because that's what I'm assuming it's going to go for. Look for Terry Diebold, get his information, and contact. I believe he's hooked up with some type of company, some type of auction company or something like that to field offers for his Super Nintendo PlayStation prototype.
I think so. I still think we should make an offer. I think between the two of us, we can offer like 150 bucks. So Terry, if you're listening,
Yeah, I think so. I think that works. I can trade him my JVC X die.
hey, look, you're already winning ooh, wait a minute. If I get that, then I would win the contest this year, which
That's
we've
very
completely
true.
forgotten
So,
about since
so
January.
you were talking
Ooh.
about maxing out your credit cards for a GI Joe belt. Now it's time to max your credit cards out for the PlayStation Super Nintendo.
I don't know which one I'd rather have though. Now I'm torn.
Mm.
Well,
Yeah,
something for me to
the
think
answer,
about.
the
So
answer, the answer should be obvious based on the podcast you're currently recording.
I'm so confused at this point. I don't know what's going on. I've
Beats me.
two full days of Comic Con, and then like Friday, I went straight from New York City to pick up my dad, and we went straight out to the Nassau Coliseum. So I didn't even have time to rest at any
Mm.
point for the Islanders home opener. Then yesterday I was tired, and today
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Be that as it may, I'm going to buy everything. If I'm maxing out my credit cards, I might as well buy everything.
There you go.
All right, so we're gonna end it here at this point, and then we'll do the little montage, I guess. But real quick,
We'll do a little montage for Comic Con. For those of you who are watching us
yes.
on YouTube, we will spare the people who are just listening to this because
I'm sure there'll be good music attached to it, so they can listen that
I don't
on
think they're
that.
going to want to listen to 10 minutes of music. So it's
Why
okay.
not?
All right, I'm here, and I made it to New York Comic Con. There it is, folks. It is going to be a long and arduous day, but it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a good one. We're going to see some sights and sounds, report for the podcasts, I think all of them at this point, and join me for the journey. It's going to be a fun time, so let's start doing it.
We're wrapping this up, and next week, next week we should be back on our regular format, which is
Exactly.
we don't really have one, do we?
No, we never do. Flush the format. And here we go. So for Spitfire Labs, you want to go to www.spitfirelabs.nyc. So you can go check them out. Because we'll always want to give a shout out to Brian and Calvin over there at the Playable Characters podcast. Me and Brian hung out yesterday at the Comic-Con. So, great podcast. Listen to them. They're very, very funny. So good people there. Shout out to, seeing Frankie, Verdi, a fan of the Better Half podcast, Bree. and her brother Nick. Nice people. Ran into them at the con. And otherwise, everyone else at New York Comic Con was a good time. If there's a Comic Con near you, just go. You know, this is our culture. It's video games, it's comic books, it's movies, it's all of it. And I'm gonna leave this by saying this.
Before you leave it,
go.
Los Angeles Comic Con is this coming weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Where do you know where exactly?
LA Convention Center.
Okay. So go check that out.
That downtown LA. So if you're in LA and you want to check out a con, you've got one coming up this weekend. So definitely check it out. I was planning on attending. I have since decided that is not the best idea, considering the fact that it will be crowded and anybody who hits me in my midsection will basically kill me. So
that's why you go and cosplay as Professor X.
No, that's when I go as Iron Man.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, good call. Also, I want to give a shout out. I really should write this stuff down. Barcade. I went to their 15th anniversary in Brooklyn on Thursday, October 3rd. Oh, it was so much fun. Each location has a special date for the 15th. So look up when the LA one. Hopefully you're feeling better and check out the LA one.
Okay.
Great stuff. I played this game called Shoes, which is basically a video game of horseshoes. Pure horseshoes. It was so addicting. I played it like 5 or 6 rounds of it. It's so addicting. It was crazy. SHUUS. No, SHUUZ. But yeah, good time, great place. Met the owner, one of the owners, good people. And I reminded him, can you please open one up on Long Island? So we'll see. Other than that, basically I'll be there every weekend. Forget about it. So other than that, check them all out. All the links will be down below. We're going to show this here, but we're going to wrap our section up at this point. And I'm glad you're feeling better. Continue to feel better.
Thank you. Happy to feel better.
Now you have to... Good.
And happy to be back. I missed this last week.
More important, definitely happy to have you to be back. And with that, we will catch you right here next week on the Retro Gamers Podcast.